this is the time of year where people start saying if the season ended today, the Packers would be the #1 seed. Well, if the season ended today, that would mean something very, very bad happened because the season ain't ending today. But yes, as of right now, the Packers hold the #1 spot in the NFC. The Steelers are still clearly in first place in the AFC North. They blew an opportunity to put a stranglehold on the division. But we will see the first meeting ever between Aaron Rodgers and one of the teams he used to play for. No, that's wrong. That was week 1. First time he ever plays the Packers. Man, I did that whole build-up, and I was just wrong. I forgot all about the Jets, and we're going to talk about the Jets coming up. So that makes it even more inexcusable that I forgot about the Jets. But for the first time ever, we'll see him play the Packers. He avoided playing the Packers when he was with the New York Jets. Is that right, too? Why did he not play the Packers?
He did
was
not.
He injured?
Well, he was only the New York Jets. I mean, he was only there 2 years. That schedule's
but they played the Vikings last year.
I think it must have been that obscure crossover game, the 17th game, right?
Yeah, that's right. They both had to finish in the same spot in their divisions, and the Jets finished where the Vikings did,
right?
And that's why they played the Vikings. That was it. So. You're right. It's coming back to me now. So he has yet to play the Packers. He plays them on Sunday night. And here is both Mike Tomlin and Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, on Rodgers facing the Green Bay Packers for the very first time.
He's got an awesome relationship with this game. I haven't been with him for a long time, but he's been fired up every single week. I'd imagine it's going to be the same. I'd imagine some external things are going to make more out of it than it is for him. He's playing to win. That's what he does. And that's kind of my perspective on it.
Playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, who happen to have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's as simple as that. That is for you guys to talk about. Granted, I mean, we've got a lot of respect and love for Aaron. I mean, what he's done here, he's a Hall of Famer. And I know, like, our past together, we had a lot of great moments. But this game is not about that. It's about going to Pittsburgh, Sunday Night Football. Our guys will be jacked up. Their guys will be jacked up. It's about the Green Bay Packers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's for you guys to talk about all those other storylines.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sure. Look, they got to say what they got to say. But I guarantee you there's going to be a little something extra here in both directions. Aaron Rodgers has some lingering animosity for certain individuals with the Green Bay Packers. And there are, I would guess, more than a few individuals with the Green Bay Packers that got to the point where they had reached their lifetime limit and then some of Aaron Rodgers. And by the time it ended, both sides wanted this to end. And there have been things said. There was stuff said when he was there. Remember the year when he showed up for training camp and he did a 25-minute diatribe on how they don't listen to me and their attitude is you just work here. He unloaded in a way that I don't think any quarterback or other player had before or since, just as to the general way a player had been treated by an organization and the attitude, you just work here. We don't want your input. That fueled the divorce, and this is the first chance for him to get back together. I think it's going to potentially affect Rodgers more than it affects the Packers.
Yeah,
but
right.
A lot of the players with the Packers weren't even there. We see the turnover year in and year out, but this is going to be something that Rodgers has never dealt with before. We don't know how he's going to deal with this. He's never gone through whatever he's going to be feeling when he sees national anthem looking across the field and all those guys in the uniform that he wore for all those years.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be weird. That'll be, I'm sure, like a kind of a come-to moment of like, wow, like, is that what, we looked like over there all those years when I was on that sideline? I mean, it will be odd. I can imagine. I've talked to enough players that, been with one team forever, go to another team. He loves the organization, the Green Bay Packers. Of course, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame as a Green Bay Packer. But yeah, like you said, he was clearly frustrated towards the end of his time there in Green Bay. Even with McCarthy, then it kind of was like okay for a little bit. It had a few kerfuffles with LaFleur and the offense and all that, but it was all good. And then it became, a lot of other issues there at the very end to where, it didn't look like it was a very friendly splitting apart. My phone doesn't work in Malibu boo and all that crap that we went through and everything there. But I think like a guy like, Matt LaFleur there, he's just trying to kind of lay down the law, I think, for his football team a little bit to just go, everybody knows what is at stake here. First off, the game's a big game just in the pure competitiveness of the NFL, the NFC, the AFC, where these two teams are at. They're right in the thick of things as far as being one of the better teams in their conference. So that's where Matt LaFleur, I think, wants to just keep everybody focused on that. And, also knowing that they're all going to hear about Aaron Rodgers anyways. It doesn't matter. The media is going to go into the locker room. That's the first thing everybody's going to be asked about. But he's trying to, speak to his team a little bit in there and just to go, hey, this is not about Aaron Rodgers. This is about us and the football team and all of that. And he's going to do his best to, not make it a distraction.
Couple of things. First of all, remember, you don't go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a member of any specific team.
I forgot. Okay. You're right, because I saw that the Raiders put in Eric Allen last week and all that stuff, which I was like, I forgot that whole rule there, that it's different.
Yeah, no, you just go into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
The ultimate team sport has no concept of team at its Hall of Fame. None.
Right.
None. Second of all, that whole thing about the offense, look, that was Exhibit A, passive-aggressive Aaron Rodgers manipulating the media to get what he wanted. He got Mike Silver involved in the middle of this thing, did that article about the audible thing where Matt LaFleur had the way he wanted to run his offense. Player had two options, right? You got the play that's called, and then you got the backup play, and that's the extent of the flexibility you have at the line of scrimmage. You can't change the play. And Rodgers' attitude was, I've been here all these years. You should trust me to know what play to get into. And that was a semi-public tug of war that Aaron Rodgers won, because I think Matt LaFleur realized, look, this is the hand I've been dealt. I gotta figure out how to play these cards. And if this guy's going to make an issue of it, fine, you win. And as it relates to the frustrations with the front office, let's not forget there was a report from Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports that Aaron Rodgers wanted Brian Gutekunst, the GM of the team, to be fired.
Right.
He wanted him to be fired. So we're going to have hard feelings. They're not going to wear them on their sleeve. But there's going to be people with that organization, they're going to be thinking, even if they don't say it out loud, F this guy. And there's going to be people that Rodgers is going to be thinking, and presumably not saying, F that guy.
Yeah.
So that's real. And they're not going to say it at the press conferences, but they're not going to be able to remove it from their beings.
Right.
They feel that way because there was animosity that got worse and worse until it all split. And hey, from Rodgers' perspective, the biggest slap in the face was the drafting of the quarterback.
Sure.
Who will be facing Rodgers,
Right.
Jordan Love, because they didn't bother to tell him. He was sitting there watching the draft, minding his own business. He found out they drafted Jordan Love. What the hell is this? He poured three fingers of tequila, and that was that. So I still remember him telling that story. And then he goes on to win 2 straight MVPs, which makes it even more beautiful.
It does. It made it beautiful. But I think all those things you're talking about there are all the things that make the matchup so awesome. There's some personal aspects here. Yeah, I mean, one, we know he wants to beat his old team. Yeah, cool. He'd probably like to shove it up Brian Gutekunst, where the sun don't shine a little bit, and like, look, I'm still awesome. Certainly not going to want to lose to Jordan Love in his only career matchup. He's going to want to have that to go, oh, yep, I beat the guy that they drafted to replace me. Yep, I beat him. Even in my last year of my career, I did that. So all of that adds to the spiciness of the matchup. And like we talked about last week with like the Patriots and Vrabel playing Tennessee, like the Steelers, they don't need to announce that this is important to Rodgers. The wide receiver room's going to realize that, hey, we've been around this guy. The wide receiver coach is going to go, hey, we know this is important to our guy. So that's going to filter throughout the locker room. And then I think when you couple on what it means truly in the football matchup, with a Green Bay team that is the number one team in the NFC, like you said right now, is a Super Bowl team, is frustrating to watch because they've been underwhelming and haven't played to their potential yet, even though they're 4-1-1. And then there's the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, come save the day. We're doing different stuff. We got DK Metcalf. We're changing the way we do things. And yet, The defensive side of the ball in Pittsburgh, which we always can depend on, is not holding up their end of the bargain right now. Terrell Austin, D coordinator, Tomlin, all those guys over there, they're not looking good, and Aaron Rodgers and the offense are looking good. So there's a lot of storylines to be had, I think, is what we're saying here, and that's why it's going to be fun to be on the field Sunday night.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.